Hello and warm welcome to join us for this edition of In English News, and I'm Abdul Ahad Mohammadi. President Hamid Karzai has ordered to disband U.S.-founded local police, at least in 4 northern provinces, the New York Times reported on Tuesday. The decision appeared aimed at stopping at least some of the militias that are beyond the control of Mr. Karzai's administration and could one day challenge the government. Meanwhile, Shahida Mohammad Abdali, Afghanistan's Deputy National Security Advisor, was quoted in the report as saying that Afghan government will not tolerate forces which will be a threat in the future. Iran has signed a deal with Afghanistan to supply its neighbor with 1 million tons of fuel, oil, petrol, and aviation fuel a year, Iranian media reported, without putting a value on the agreement. The accord was signed Monday by the Afghan Trade and Industry Minister and Iran's Deputy Oil Minister. At the end of 2010, Tehran blocked Afghanistan's imported oil crossing from its territory, saying it suspected the fuel could be used to supply U.S. and other NATO troops in Afghanistan, but the law later subsidized it. Afghanistan's cabinet cleared the way for the war-torn state to sign a deal with a Chinese company for the development of oil blocks in the Amu Darya basin, the president's office said in a statement yesterday. The deal covering drilling and a refinery in the northern provinces of Saripol and Faryab will be the first international oil production agreement entered into by the Afghan government for several decades. The Afghan cabinet has ordered Mines Minister to sign an oil exploration contract for Amu Darya with China's National Petroleum Corporation, the statement said. The head of the British Armed Forces, General Sir David Richards, has warned his troops to expect to see an enduring insurgency beyond the date of their withdrawal from the front line in Afghanistan. He also said that the aim of foreign troops in the country was to turn the operation into one run by the Afghan and not by Western forces in the lead. But it is very important that everyone understands the West isn't pulling out, he added. The head of the U.S. Central Command is urging Pakistan to share a map of its facilities and installations near the Afghan border to help avert episodes like the one that killed 24 Pakistani forces last month. U.S. Marines Corps General James Mattis, the commander, said in a statement on Monday that the strike's chief lesson was that we must improve border coordination, and this requires a fundamental level of trust on both sides of the border. The United Nations and the Iraqi government have agreed to relocate several thousands of Iranian exiles living in a camp in northern Iraq, potentially averting a showdown with its residents. The dissidents, who have not said whether they would agree to move, reported a rocket attack on the camp. A representative of the camp's residents said on Monday they were still waiting to see the agreement before commenting on whether they would decide to relocate or not. The first group of Arab League monitors has arrived in Syria The first group of Arab League monitors has arrived in Syria amid reports that these are mounting from an ongoing security crackdown. The first group of Arab League monitors has arrived in Syria amid reports that these are mounting from an ongoing security crackdown on anti-government protests. The arrival of 50 observers and 10 Arab League officials came as activists reported the death of at least 45 people around the country, 33 of them in the busy central city of Homs. The Arab League's team will start its mission in Syria by visiting Homs on Tuesday. The plan seeks to put an end to the government's crackdown on protesters. Pakistan's President Asif Ali Zardari said Tuesday the best way to pay tribute to slain Premier Benazir Bhutto on the 4th anniversary of her death was to foil anti-democracy conspiracies. Zardari's remarks came despite denials of military coup from the army chief and also from the Supreme Court top judge as he examined calls from the army and the opposition to probe the memo scandal last week. Prime Minister Yusuf Raza Gilani Saturday welcomed the statement by Army Chief General Ashfaq Kiani ruling out a military takeover. And that's all for now. Thanks for being with us.